Welcome everyone to the Hypes Watch series finale reaction. We are having some technical difficulties tonight, so we're going to be a little bit of a no camera tonight. But got the same reaction crew that I normally do with me tonight. We got Sir LT Giles, the ladies' man himself, and Big Game James Bushell here to react on. Just to give you a little preview of our thoughts before we actually go and do the our review that we're doing tomorrow. And fellas, we're done. We are done with Game of Thrones.
10 out of 10.
Series?
Episodes of 10 out of 10. Fellas, last one ever.
Last one ever. How... I don't want to hear what your thoughts on the episode right now are, but just tell me how you guys are feeling. What's your mood right now? James? No. Actually, I want LT's mood first right now. LT, give me your mood.
I just got to say that I'm glad that I met you guys, that we formed the Hypes Watch. It's always been good making videos with you guys. But I feel like a champion boxer that got robbed in a title match, Jerry, for the season. We're not going to get into the details for this episode, but this season, Jerry, I feel like I've been robbed. I guess you could say I'm a bit of a baby because I don't get what I want, as far as a lot of things from the season. But I feel like I've been robbed. And you know who the two main culprits are? Dan and Dave. The idiots that rush everything, that want to go to Star Wars. And you know what? Now the Star Wars fans will feel our pain, man.
JB, how are you? What's your mood?
My mood is one of relief. It's over. It's not the season was not the greatest. But I kind of, at this point, like this last episode, I was just kind of letting shit fly at this point. Because, like, what's the point? What's the point of even caring about it like that anymore in, like, a super deep sense? But just relief. Generally, I wouldn't finish series. I'm still on season 3 of Breaking Bad. I lose interest quickly in things, and I wouldn't have even got this far if I wasn't part of the Hypes Watch. So I feel relief that this TV series is over.
Yep, I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty good actually. I'm feeling relief. I'm just feeling like I'm glad it's over, and I'm glad guys. I didn't hate it. I did. I know y'all expected me to say, "Oh my God, tear it apart." Tear it apart, Steamboat. That's what you do. Rip them apart. And, yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But, the selfish part of me feels like it confirmed, or didn't confirm, but at least in my mind, it made all my theories for the books more likely. So I'm cool with it. And that's my mood right now. That I'm feeling okay because even though I can see how you can take Dan and Dave and you can take all the beats I think are going to happen in the show, mash them together, and this is what you would get. Get something like this. So that's my feelings right there. So guys, I want to just talk about what you guys think about how the beginning part start. Let's talk the first half. In my opinion, it was slow. It took forever. And then there was a lot of talking. There was a lot of seeing Grey Worm mad, seeing the horrors around, seeing, slow tension until we get to the point of, the scene between Jon and Tyrion and then the Jon and Dany scene. So, I mean, how did y'all feel about, I guess is that the first half of this whole episode?
It was about 24. It was about 24 minutes until from the point of
it was like that to Tyrion.
Till Jon, till Jon visiting Tyrion in the jail. It was a good 24 minutes, and I was thinking,
and then another 20 minutes for between that scene and then Jon finally killing Dany. Spoilers, killing Dany.
Yeah, And I sat there and was going through my mind was like, this is the last episode. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They're wasting this much time. And you know what? Think about this, guys. You know, we're talking about Grey Worm. Besides the execution of Lannister prisoners, there was no fights in this scene. I mean, I'm sorry, fights in this episode. And if it wasn't for the execution of those prisoners, this would have been the first episode, I think. If I might be wrong, first episode without any deaths. But, you know, obviously there was execution.
Yeah.
I think there's been episodes before where there wasn't death. I'm pretty sure.
Sure?
I'm
Sure.
pretty sure. Like the episode with, Tyrion's trial episode, I believe.
The first episode of the season had no deaths, I thought.
Yeah, all the kids.
Oh no, the fucking Umber kid. I forgot about that shit.
Yeah.
Tyrion's trial episode. I'm sure there's been some episodes where there wasn't death.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually didn't hate the beginning of this episode. I thought that it actually did a good job of, particularly the scene, Dany's speech scene, and the slow walk up, Tyrion throwing down the gauntlet. Essentially, like I felt like they did actually a good job building up tension in that moment and uncertainty of what was going to happen. So I actually thought it was good. So
I had a feeling that Tyrion, for some reason, I don't know why, I thought for some reason Tyrion was going to jump up and kill Dany. Like, because I mean, if you look at him how mad he was when he saw Cersei and Jaime, and he was crying, and he looked. I mean, if you go back and look at him walking, his face, like I don't know why, but then I looked at his hands. I looked at his hands and I didn't see nothing in them, so I was like, no. But
for me, that was part of the tension because I'm a Tyrion fan. I didn't want to see it because obviously if he would have done that, he would have been fucking dead. So that was part of the tension for me. Actually, was the thought that Tyrion was just going to go, you know, Leroy Jenkins, and try and kill Dany there, but that wouldn't have ended well for him. So that was tension for me personally, being a Tyrion fan.
Mm-hmm. So y'all thought he was going to start doing like flips like he did in the beginning, like if it was you ever played Kung Fu on the NES or Castlevania on the NES, those little midget guys that flip?
I didn't think that. I just thought that when he walked up that he might have pulled out you know, a dagger and stabbed her in the gut or something. But
yeah. So yeah, but then it ended up being Jon, and
once again, they always kick ass with visuals. They always do that. I mean, you've always complimented them, Jerry, too, on their costumes, and the places they always kick ass is visuals, the music, and the costumes. You can't fault them there.
Sometimes, in my opinion, the costumes are a bit too extravagant. Like, it's like, you know, sometimes, where did you get you're a little too immaculate here, too grandiose for the situation, you know? But, you know, that would get off topic. Let's talk about.
Wait, Jerry. I just have one question for you. And during the episode, guys, for the past, I want to say since season 5 or 4, we chat in a group chat like a little bit during the episode, not too much, but a little bit. And I believe it was JB said that that's Quentin Martell. So people in the chat and people watch this video. Who was the Prince of Dorne? They didn't name him.
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to bring that up. Let's talk about it now, though.
All right,
Quentin! Cool. It's Quentin!
They didn't say who it was, so if your headcanon is Quentin, go for it.
Yep. I think it was Quentin. All right, so my thoughts, at least for the first 24. I mean, come on. You need to build. You can't always build up tension slow. There's ways to do it. It seems like these guys are a one beat kind of thing. They only know how to build up tension a certain way. You can build up fast tension, and I think that's what they needed at this point. I thought it dragged on a little bit too long.
Ultimately, I mean, yeah, they probably could have cut some stuff. I just think that the scene with Dany and her impassioned speech was enough. Like you probably could have just rolled with that. because there was implications in there of like, what was on the horizon for, from Winterfell to Dorne, etc. So I like that.
So what's the main reason you guys explain to me? The main reason John felt he had to do that, is it because Dany was gonna go and basically burn everybody who didn't bend the knee, and she's gonna commit genocide all throughout Westeros? And another question I have is, did you guys kind of feel that she was Anakin and and John was Obi-Wan?
Not quite, but I mean, I think it did. I think that was what they were intending to convey, but they didn't do it very well, in my opinion. But I think that was kind of their point. Like, John saw the evil in her, and the only way to stop her was to stab her with. Was that needle he stabbed her with? Did he stab her with needle?
No, it's that little dagger he had on
Okay.
the on his he had Longclaw is his sword, and then he had
he didn't use Longclaw for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, I just think it was, Tyrion laid it out, and ultimately it was the thought of his sisters not bending the knee, which we knew that wasn't going to be the case, and them probably getting roasted up in his, mind's eye that did it.
I think the problem with this is that, like, in the talk between Dany and John, there was no mention of his sisters, so I think that should have been. I think that should have been a point, and it should have been a point to. It should have been a point to where, like, she would have said something that either made John feel like his sisters were in danger, or it didn't give him the comfort that his sisters were safe. And we saw a reaction from him, and then what do you call it? And then he makes a choice. I thought I was kind. I mean, I understand kind of why you could be looking back, but I thought in the moment, I thought it was a bit sudden and anticlimactic the way he stabbed her. So that was my.
Well, I was going to talk about that tomorrow. That I did feel it was a little anticlimactic.
But
yeah, but that's my thoughts on that. Let's move on to the Great Council of Den and Dave.
With the jokes.
So, what was that?
With the jokes? Is that what you're saying? Is the Great Council of D&D? As the jokes?
Yeah, I mean, well, just because of, I mean, okay. In my opinion, there is going to be a Great Council in the books, just kind of like this, but it's not going to be this, if that makes sense. Their discussion is going to be much different, and it's probably going to have different people. But I think there will be a Dan and Dave Great Council. But what did y'all think? Council of Dan and Dave. We were wondering who the fucking Prince of Dorne was. Well, see the Prince of Dorne. Some people were there that really didn't deserve to be there, like Davos. I mean, we know he's a lord, but he's not much of a lord. Well, where was Bronn?
I was just hoping I would wake up. I'm just hoping I'd wake up and this is all a dream, and season 8 was all a dream, Jerry. That was my main mind.
Like I said, at this point, I was just kind of letting it fly. I wasn't really thinking about it. It was whatever at this point. I mean, Davos is obviously they had to have him on there because they essentially all the people who were up there was because they didn't have enough characters like established in the show, so they got to have someone up there that people can recognize.
Exactly.
So, and I like Davos, so I'm cool with it. But I mean, the council itself is.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the council was fine. I mean, yeah, it was a council of D&D. Like, I don't think. I mean, this is up for debate. I don't think it's going to be Bran in the books, but that's a discussion for another time. So I thought that this was their version of their council. Like, so you had the jokes. You had making fun of Edmure. You had Sweet Robin up there looking like a doofus. You had the Prince of Dorne, and
I actually wanted to hear what Edmure had to say. That pissed me off.
It's not like he was saying anything stupid either.
Yeah.
She just cut him off.
Yeah.
So whatever.
I really would have liked to hear everybody say something, or of value, and hear what they had to say.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
Now
a
we
great
know.
council is, right? Like all the lords deciding on who's going to become king.
Well, yeah, it is. But this isn't a regular Great Council, LT. This is the Great Council of Dan and Dave.
Yeah, just like Sansa declaring independence is a D&D
Oh my
thing.
god. Okay, so
Yeah.
so what did y'all think of the results of this? Let's just get your reaction. Bran is nominated. The Bran 9000, the king with no emotions, no empathy, is he's made king, and Sansa's still saying the North needs their own independence. Apparently, the Prince of Dorne is fine bending the knee. Thoughts, guys? Thoughts of the results?
I just think
These two.
in George R. R. Martin's world in the books, if I don't care if it's her brother that's king, if one kingdom says they gain independence, it's going to be chaos, and the rest of the kingdoms are going to want independence too.
I mean, I didn't hate Bran being king because I actually thought Tyrion laid out some good points. It was more about uniting the people over a legend as opposed to Bran 9000 having empathy. Perhaps he won't be the greatest leader ever, but I did actually think Tyrion laid it out pretty decently. In terms of North independence, I don't know. I have to think about it, but I didn't hate Bran being king like that. That doesn't bother me.
Well, what about Sansa declaring independence for the North?
I have to sleep on it. One thing, one thing I didn't understand is, well, I just felt like the way they've been portraying Grey Worm, like I feel like he just would have killed Jon when they found him, when they caught him, but we didn't see that because it was rushed. So
I don't get either. Like, what logical reason did Drogon have for not burning Jon? I mean, that was his mom. He was pissed, and he just burns the Iron Throne instead. That really pissed me off. Like,
well,
I love to burn the Iron Throne because I don't think, in my opinion, this is totally selfish of me. I guess totally This was back when I wish Don Willie was here when Willie and Kraken and Tony were doing the Three Dons. How many years ago was that, LT, when they did the Three Dons?
probably at least 2 years ago.
No, it was more than that. It was at least three. It was at least
All right,
three.
so at least 3 then. I don't know.
At least three. In there, I was saying that the Iron Throne was going to be no more, and they're going to rule from Harrenhal. So I've been saying this for years. So for that reason alone, my selfish reason is why I thought I like Drogon Brain.
So was Drogon bidding? Oh, go ahead.
I'll say my answer is always Targ blood. If he didn't have Targ blood, then it
so
maybe
was
wouldn't have
Drogon bending the knee to Jon at least. I mean, well, I
don't know. He was
get it.
bending the knee. He was just kind of like giving him a little bit of respect, but like I respect you, but I won't be a part of you, kind of thing.
Yeah, because he didn't put his head down and let Jon crawl up on him or whatever.
I thought that might happen for a minute, but
if that would have happened, I would have had some issues with it. But it didn't. So
yeah. My biggest issue with this is like, how is Bran now? Okay, so now they're saying the North is independent of Westeros. So didn't that disqualify Bran being a Northern? Doesn't that mean an outsider now is ruling Westeros? Since that would be like if fucking California seceded from the U.S. and then some California person became president.
Well, see, ultimately, the way I was thinking about it was like, this is their version of breaking the wheel. They're going to elect whoever they feel is the best, and they didn't put down, they didn't lay out whatever norms or customs or rules were in place for that. So, I'm just.
Well, that's why I call it the Great Council of D&D. That's why I think this is a D&D only thing for some of it. Like, I think there will be a great council, but I don't think there'll be more thought put into it than what we saw here.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think we'll have a little bit of different results. So, LT, did you give your thoughts on Bran 9000? I know you're a big fan of the Bran 9000, so I don't know what you thought about.
Oh, I'm the biggest fan. I love that character to death. Man, come on. It's so stupid. Like, really? Like, he doesn't care about human events. He just lives in the past. And he started showing emotion in this episode. It's so hypocritical of what they were doing. And then even at the end, that was so stupid. We're like, oh, we'll work on that. And then he's smiling. Does he have emotion or doesn't he? These stupid idiots, man.
Oh, yep. I mean, yeah. I really have no words for it, but
Yeah.
I mean, my opinion. In my thoughts, I don't think Brand's ever going to get out of that fucking tree. But that's my. Um. Anyways, so let's talk about some of the epilogue here that we got. We got, you know, Arya going west to Westeros. Apparently, no one knows about the ET or any of those other places or anything like that. Obviously, no one's read the World of Ice and Fire, so
Right.
none of that's been read in this show.
I don't think D&D have ever heard of the World of Ice and Fire.
No, I don't think so either. And then we got Sansa, Queen of the North. What else we got? We got the Brienne's the Kingsguard. Lord Commander now apparently. Because she's riding in the White Book, which I actually really like that scene. I mean, yeah, it's. I just imagine. I have to imagine it's book Brienne, not the show, the criminal Brienne.
Whoa! I just noticed something. This is bullshit. She's supposed to be sworn to Sansa Stark, and she left her to become the Lord Commander.
Wow. That's exactly why I don't think it's Bran. I think it's going to be Sansa in the books. But anyways, that's that. Thank you for realizing. I noticed that too, LT, and that's why I think it's Sansa in the books.
Realized that. But you know what? I said a while ago. You guys know I'm a Robb Stark fan. That's my Classic Kings. I became more of a Robb Stark fan. But regardless, I said a good title for When's the Winner before George released the name should have been Rise of the Starks, because the Starks are coming back from being destroyed or whatever.
Well, the original title of the last book was going to be A Time for Wolves, which is kind of the same thing.
Yeah. So I mean, that's basically what, in my opinion, what this episode was victory for the Starks.
The double victory, because they got both Westeros and the North. So
yeah,
it's kind of whatever.
I will say the most interesting thing to me in this whole last part was the way that Jon was on his horse and how the wildlings were walking in sort of a zombie-like fashion almost. It almost looked like the same imagery of the Night's King on the horse with his whites around him.
What do you? Hold on. Exactly. You know what? I didn't even think about that, but that's good. What did y'all think about this whole resolution? So Tyrion becomes hand because he made so many mistakes. It's like, well, the best way to fix the mistakes is to give him more power, so he could fix mistakes. So I don't really mind Book Tyrion. I think Book Tyrion eventually might be a good hand. Show Tyrion is a bumbling buffoon. We know. I mean, LT, even you have. I know you love Tyrion's cleverness, but even you have to admit, Joe Tyrion is a bumbling buffoon.
Yeah, he is.
What do y'all think of the Night's? What do we need a Night's Watch for? Why is it? So now that the Night's King is dead, we saw Arya kill him in episode 3 with the Abraham Lincoln vampire hunter move. We saw her kill him there. Now, what do we need a wall for? What is there still just tension between the wildlings and the rest? After all this,
we need the wall because there's still ice spiders left. There's still giants left somewhere, and I don't know, man. Maybe we need the wall to keep order.
Well, Tyrion just pretty much said that they need a place to send bastards and whatever.
Yeah, that sounds like some fucking lazy ass writing.
Well, the lazy thing I think comes in now is that the North is an independent sovereignty. So
yeah,
they're gonna work out. They had to come out with some treaty to where they can cross, lines and send men up there unimpeded.
Yeah.
Where's Dark? We're never gonna find. Well, I guess we're gonna find out in the books, but we're never gonna find out where Dark Sister is or Blackfire.
That shit's all been cut out of the show. All right, so who else do we got? We got Braun, head of the Reach. We got, is Sam a Grand Maester? Sam's a Maester for sure. But
I believe he's a Grand Maester, but I'm thinking, did Bran change rules? Because I thought he was with Gillian. I thought, she's pregnant. So
we got all kinds of new rules with the Great Council of Dan and Dave, LT.
Yeah, so why does Jon? That's what I don't get. When maybe Tyrion was speaking metaphorically. Because I'm like, he's like, you won't father no children, but why can't rules change? Why can't he like?
Well, that's what I was about to say. I was gonna say, in all fairness, it's a time of change. They can forego the rules of the past to eschew the new ones.
Oh, so Jon could go find Val in somewhere. She's with the wildlings, and Jon can marry Val, and they can rule the wall
together. Yeah. So okay, so then we got Braun, head of the Reach. What do y'all think about that?
That's
never happened in the books.
He's got some jokes though for the council though.
Yeah, that was I had a contention with that. I don't understand why Braun. It only way I could have seen, like, if Braun would have saved some lives in the battle or something, or played a big role in the previous battle, but we didn't see him. He just disappeared, and all of a sudden he's the Master of Coin, which I don't even think he's qualified for. I think he'd be more qualified as a Master of War at the very least, if they're going to make him a Master of something.
Yeah.
I don't see how he's qualified for Master of Coin, other than the fact that he likes it. But
I like money. He can be charging. Okay, how about the biggest low moment of the whole episode? Copying the Lord of the Rings with the book, the Song of Ice and Fire book. Any thoughts?
Even though I agree with you 100%, it is copying. But you know what?
It's the biggest low moment for me in that whole episode.
It still was kind of like, I don't know, bittersweet. It still was nice moment, and I agree with you 100%. It was copying.
I really don't have any thoughts about it, to be honest, good or bad.
Who thinks Cogman? Do you think Cogman put this in there just so, like, because he's going
to look? Dave wrote this episode, so
hold on. But Cogman was still helping him though, and You think he did this so he would get that Lord of the Rings job that he got?
What's that?
Wait, Jerry. If Cogman helped them write this, wouldn't they give him credit and say Dan and Dave and Cogman wrote this episode?
I don't think he's got like frontline credits, but he has like a little bit of credit in the back. But he might have just wrote that part. He might have been, "Hey guys, help me get this job. Lord of the Rings thing in there. Do it." Anyways, so Tormund was just hanging at the wall. I don't know why. Why was Tormund just hanging at the wall waiting for Jon?
Maybe because Tormund became the Lord Commander. I mean, they haven't established.
But Tormund clearly said he was going north of the wall.
I know.
He was just waiting there. Jon finally pets. I know you love this, LT. Jon finally. Pets.
Yeah. That did make me happy.
And then you have them, zombie fight.
Go north. That Ghost was missing that ear.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was my first thought when watching that scene, was that it looked very much like, very much the same imagery of the Night's King and the Whites.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Ghost grew bigger. He was smaller in the episode.
He should be growing bigger. Remember how big that direwolf was at the beginning?
He grew bigger because, they killed Rhaegal, so they had a little bit more in the budget for that last episode.
All right, guys.
It's over, guys. Is it really over? Is this a dream? Am I dreaming?
Any final thoughts? Is it a dream? Is it a dream of spring, LT?
Yeah, am I dreaming? Am I going to wake up and we're going to be back at the beginning of season 8 and it's actually going to be good?
Nope, it's not going to happen.
Depends how long you go to sleep, LT. Maybe if you go to sleep for like 15 years and you wait, or 20 years and you wake up and then the remake is out and they're doing it good.
Gonna wake up tomorrow and
they should just do an animated series on Netflix with the people, the artists.
Well, they can't do it on Netflix anymore. They have to. HBO owns everything now, just about.
They should just do an animated series and they could adapt the books how they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is John Free Folk now? That's what it looked like. It looks like he's like, fuck the wall, let me just go north.
Yeah, that part didn't make very much sense.
It would be cool, though, in the books to see John go to the lands of always winter and stay there.
Oh, he'll go. I told you. He's going to go and negotiate.
No, I mean, like, the land, like, like, I think after it's all done, like, he goes way beyond the lands of always winter and stuff. You know what I mean?
What's beyond the lands of always winter?
We don't know. And we'll never know.
Death Mountain from Zelda? That's beyond?
We'll never know. We'll never know. All right, guys. You got any final thoughts before we end this or wrap this up? If not, we can always say. I mean, any thoughts? You know,
I'll just give
say for tomorrow.
Yeah, just a general thing, like, you know, like I said, I've been kind of just with this last episode, I'll just kind of let it all hang out. So, and just kind of going with the flow. So, like I said, I maybe I'll be the positive one tomorrow because I didn't hate it. Like, I didn't think it was a drizzling shits. I thought it was not like the greatest thing ever or anything, but yeah, but it's over. That's the most important thing. It's all over.
I didn't hate it, but I never thought okay, so guys, before Jerry said that he thought that Cobra Kai season 2 would be better than season 8, and I never agreed with him. I said no way, but I'll say it officially now. Cobra Kai season 2 was better than season 8. Sorry, it's true.
And season 2 wasn't even as good as season 1. So what does that tell you?
There was a time when LT was the Hypes Watch show apologist.
LT, yeah, I want to get you know what, LT? You know what? Before we sign off, you were the show guy. You were the guy who defended the show through thick and thin. If I told if you could go back a year from now, or no, if you can go back, all right, if you can go back to as you are right now, say you're a Tram Tivling brand, and you can go back and you can talk to yourself in 2015. You tell them about the Game of Thrones is going to be trash. What would you be able to convince the old LT about? What would you tell the old LT?
The old LT was loving the show and high on the show and drinking the Dan and Dave Kool-Aid. So I don't think I would be able to convince the old LT.
What year would it be that that current LT would be able to convince old LT?
I don't know. I do not know.
All right, guys. Well, thanks all for joining. Most importantly, be here tomorrow at 8 Eastern, where we will be talking our whole review. Fellas, you better get your nightcaps on. You better get some good rest tonight because we might be going long tomorrow. There's a lot to say, and I think we're going to have a lot of people. We might have a few people on it that haven't been on it in a while. So, thanks for joining, and we are the Hypes Watch, and we are out of here. Say bye, fellas.
Bye, fellas.
Adios, guys. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.
Later.